I'm Sakura Yoshino and I'm from Japan.
My name is Jacob Zimmerman. I'm from the USA. Well, we talk about China today.
My name is Sofia Pengtanga Guimarães Pedras, and I lived in the United States of America for 9.5 years.
My name's Felipe, and I lived 3 years in Canada.
Wilson Joseph Rodriguez Molinari. I am from Orlando, Florida.
I'm Shota Matsumoto. I'm from Japan.
I'm Jonas, and I came from London, in England.
So actually this is my second time living in Brazil. My first time I lived in Patinga for when I was 2 to 9 years old, so like 7 years, and then I went back to Japan and I stayed there for another 8 years, and then my father told me that he was gonna work in Belo Horizonte this time, and then I said, oh, I wanna go, and then yeah.
What motivated me? My parents are international teachers or educators. So for my dad's job, he was the high school principal in China, and then he was ready to like take a next step in life and go somewhere else. So he decided to go to Dubai for 1 year to be the principal there, and then we moved to Brazil, and now he's a director here.
So what motivated me to come to Brazil was my family really missed my closer family, like my grandparents and everyone, and we had lived in the United States for so long that my parents were just really missing their home country because they were born here. And I think that it was mainly that motivated the move, but it was also because Brazil is just like, it's closer to home, you know, like it feels more like home than United States ever did.
I really love Brazil. I really like Brazil, and honestly fits more to my personality.
I have family that lives here, and I wanted to be, or my mom wanted to be close to them.
My father's job, and I want to go to like other countries and the experience for this country.
I moved over because basically all my family lives here. So then I guess after spending like my whole life in London, myself and my family decided to just come back because this is where like, everyone is.
I'd say that definitely in Brazil, in EABH, the student-to-teacher interaction is closer than in Japan. Because in Japan, you don't get to talk about your personal life or I don't know, your hobbies at school with your teacher. It's pretty much just like academics. But here, you get to have like a closer interaction with your teachers, and I really love that.
I believe that there's a big difference between teachers in Brazil and teachers in China. In China, I feel like they were more closed off, like they didn't interact with the students as much. While I feel like here, especially at Escola Americana, we're super close to the teachers. We talk with them all the time. And in China, it was not like that. Like teachers were very close off. Yeah.
The difference that I've noticed between the teachers here and there is that in Brazil, the teachers are so compassionate and kind, and specifically in EABH, they just care so much about the students and about the student in general, not just based on their grades, but the student as a person. I think that the teachers in EABH are so amazing, just kind, compassionate, and very caring and empathetic, while the teachers in the United States are less than they are here. The teachers in the United States are less caring, and they just don't care as much. And the teachers in Brazil just really care about them a lot more.
So teachers in Canada are a little bit more open to students, and in Brazil, they are more closed.
Well, here the relationship between teacher and student is a lot more personal. You sort of know your teacher a lot more, whereas in the US, you just get taught and that's it.
In Brazil, the teacher is more open. Like in Japan, it's like just teach something, and just like the relationship is like just a job and teaching and learn.
I'd say here in Brazil, people get along like much better with their teachers. The whole vibe is much more relaxed compared to England, where it's way more like formal. People like have to be more serious around their teachers. So I think here it's much better.
I would say that here there's more diversity, even though here in EABH there's more like Brazilian students than international students. But back in Japan, there were only like Japanese students, one ethnicity. So there's that. And also about club activities, I think here there are more club activities related to volunteering. In my school in Japan, there were only like sports activities. So I really love that we get to have an opportunity to volunteer here.
I think that student interaction is quite similar here between student interaction in China, especially because in China I went to an American school. Also, like everyone was speaking English and Mandarin. Same like here, everyone's speaking Portuguese and English. And I think the overall relationships are very similar between students here and in China.
In the United States, all the students, while they are a bit less judgmental, they are very introverted and quiet, and they like to keep themselves mainly. But in Brazil, I've noticed that most of the students, especially at EABH, are very kind and talkative, and they just talk a lot and are extremely extroverted.
Okay, so here the students talk a lot more to the teachers, and there they talk less.
In the United States, it's more common to have like a lot of like friends, but to not be like super close with those friends. Here in Brazil, it's a lot more common for people to have very tight-knit groups that are very small, and then everyone else is kind of not very important. Although in this school, with the boys in particular, there is also a lot of interacting between people who aren't closest of friends.
I think students' interaction in Brazil is more active. And like Japan, it's like just talking, but I think here is more talk a lot.
I'd say it's pretty similar. The main difference for me is that the school here is pretty small. Compared to my school in England, it was like 5 times bigger. So I'd say the size of the year and the school as a whole is the main difference.
I'd say that it's a culture misunderstanding and also language barrier. When I first came to EABH, my English was just like basic. I only could like talk in a just like conversation, because my school in Japan was a Japanese school, not an international school, so all the classes were in Japanese. And I also forgot like everything about Portuguese. I was like a native when I lived here before, but then I forgot everything, so I had to relearn everything again. There's that, and also about the cultural thing. Even though I've lived here before, I think that my personality kind of just went back to like a Japanese person. So coming to Brazil again and then facing like this human warmth, I think it was I think a culture shock to me. Yeah.
I think the biggest challenge was the language, that especially because people here at Escola Americana, they speak a lot of Portuguese with each other. And if I don't speak Portuguese, like how am I supposed to understand and communicate with them as easily? And especially like because a lot of them do speak more Portuguese than English with each other, like I think that they'd kind of like prefer to speak Portuguese, and like if they want to like, it kind of feels like it's not a challenge, but like something that they would rather not do, maybe speak in English. But it's but once I learned the language, like then it became like much more easy to acclimate to the social circles.
The biggest challenge that I faced first arriving at EABH had to be the social differences between the two different countries, because some of the things that are considered normal and okay here are not considered normal and okay there. So the social interactions in general are very different. But of course, I don't think one is better than the other. I just think that they're very different. And yeah, that was the main struggle.
At EABH, the first challenge was to adapt to the style of learning here, which is very different than Canada. So it's harder, honestly. I'd say the AP classes are harder. I had something similar there, which is called IB, but it didn't compare to here.
The biggest challenge in coming to EABH was that none of my friends were there, so I had to make friends with people I knew. And a lot of people come and leave the school, so like I can make friends with someone and then they just leave, and so it was difficult to adjust to that.
I think like that is language differences. I can't speak English and Portuguese, so I don't understand nothing.
Probably just getting used to the whole lifestyle, because as a city, Biaga is like completely different to London. The people are completely different. Yeah, I guess just adjusting to stuff like the weather, daily routine, and the traffic here has been pretty bad.
I would say to explore the culture of the country you're living, because I think it's like a once in a lifetime opportunity and you don't get to experience that often. So I think you should try to explore like new food, the culture, music, sports that are really popular in that country, and yeah, make friends in the country as well.
I think just find a group of friends that will really communicate with you, and like especially your language. If you don't speak Portuguese, like find your friends that speak like English, or like the Americans that speak English, and then eventually once you start learning Portuguese, you'll really start becoming friends like with the Brazilians, because I mean that's kind of what happened to me. Like I first became friends with the English speakers, like Locks, because he like basically only spoke English at the time, and then now like after living in Brazil for 4 years and speaking Portuguese like better, now I'm kind of like friends with him.
So, and some advice that I would give the new international students is to really just be extremely extroverted and try your hardest to talk to people, because there's so many nice people in Brazil. You just have to really get to know them and talk to them. And the start, it's going to be hard, but I'm sure you guys can do it.
I'd say adapt, right? It's not easy, but Brazilians are very good at that, and they will welcome you.
The biggest advice I give to new international students is to find community with the other international students. Because I found that a lot of the international students tend to make friends with each other quickly over the shared experience of being in a new place with new people. And it definitely is a fast way to make friends.
I think you should like look more at the perspective.
Probably just like, try and be as social as you can when you first get here. Don't be like shy and stuff. Try and get out there, do stuff. Because then again, looking back, you'd rather know that, I don't know, you made the most of your time than waste it, I guess.
What I miss the most about my home country, I think it's the food and also my friends in Japan, and also my family. Yeah, my mom and my sister lives in Japan, so I'm only here with my dad. So I think oftentimes it's kind of feel lonely. So I think my friends, my family, and also the food. Yeah, Japanese food.
I think I missed my school the most. I had like a lot of options that I could like take into education, and then also like the campus was really beautiful, and like it's something that we don't have here that's as on par with that level. But I also miss like the culture of China, because there would be people there that like have never seen any Americans in their whole life, and then when they see like someone like me who isn't Chinese, like I've had like ladies take pictures with me because they think it's like super cool.
So what I miss most about United States is, honestly, I think it's like the junk food. Because while Brazil has some really good junk food too, I kind of miss Chipotle and just some restaurants from there.
I miss my friends. I miss my friends in Canada. They are very fun.
My friends, mainly.
Everything.
Probably my friends,
Yeah.
and then I guess I also miss just like the look of London. Because as a city, I'd say it's like really nice. Yeah.
I think it would be like the optimistic perspective that Brazilians have. In Japan, I think we don't have like a good balance between personal life and professional life. I feel like they are always working and like thinking about work constantly. And here, I think they are pretty good. Brazilians are pretty good at separating their personal life and professional life. They know when to play hard and when to work hard, and I think that's something that I like to bring to Japan.
If I could bring one thing, I think the food and the music. Either food or music, because it's like, I'm not like a huge fan of Chinese food, but I really like the Brazilian food. And then the music here is like, they don't really have like Chinese music that much, like current Chinese music. A lot of the music that people listen to in China is like Korean or Japanese or American. So I think like those two aspects. If I were to choose one, it would be food, and then if not, it would be music.
So if I could bring one thing from Brazil to my home country, it would be the generosity and like the kindness, and because overall in Brazil, I feel like the Brazilians in general, they care about each other. Like everybody is very intertwined in a way that like if you're stranded on the street and you need help, somebody's gonna give you directions or help you in some way. While in the United States, nobody would really care and would just ignore you or just like look weirdly at you and judge you or whatever. But that's what I would do. I would bring some of the kindness of Brazilians to people from the United States.
I'd bring the food. The one I was eating right now. Tropeiro. Very good. I like it.
Pão de queijo.
Meat.
The weather. Yeah, no, the weather in the UK is crap. Horrible weather. That's one thing that's much better, isn't it? Definitely.
All right. Thank you so much.
I think